Years ago, there was a movie called The Little Mermaid. And in that movie, she sang a song that I've got gizmos and gadgets aplenty. I've got who's its and what's its galore. You want thingamabobs? Yeah, I've got 20. But the collector's person catch that last line, but who cares? It's no big deal. How's it go? I want more. Well, welcome back to RB's Toy Box, and today I had someone mention on a previous video that they wanted to see a little bit more of my Star Trek gizmos and gadgets. So today, you stay tuned and I'm going to go through, not the entire collection of Star Trek, but, you know, the things that got me into Star Trek, and that was the gizmos and gadgets aplenty. You stay tuned.
1, 2, 3, 4. Step into the magic on my fun-filled stage. RB's Toy Box is great for kids of any age. From Star Trek to 18 and retro toys too. Come join on my journey, making videos just for you.
Welcome back to another episode here of RB's Toy Box, and today we're going to be taking a look at some of the gizmos and gadgets aplenty and go through just some of the little bit of history of why Star Trek for me is one of the major portions of my collection. Now, all the way back, I'm going to pan around here really quick and show you, this is just the entrance way to RB's Toy Box. And this is kind of, I don't want to call it overflow, but I mean, the movie room got big enough that it kind of pushed all of this downstairs. And I had to line it up over here on the sides and up the walls and everywhere to try to fit it. And there's even some right upstairs where the Playmobil sets are and several of the Playmate ships. But coming back to the motion picture, all the way back in the late 70s, obviously, when that movie came out, it wasn't the characters, although, you know, characters were pretty good. I didn't know anything about movie reviews back then, and there's probably some people that'll comment down below, and make sure you do. You know, if you got some comments for the video, I'd love to hear them, especially if there's any things like the last viewer that wanted to see some things here with the Toy Box. Make sure you comment down below there, and like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. But the motion picture for me, again, wasn't about the characters as much as it was, look at all the buttons and all the switches. And for me, that's what caught my attention and kind of brought me into the Star Trek universe. Now, my dad, God rest his soul, when I wanted to get, and you know, Playmates was coming out with you know, versions of different toys that you could get, and there were, you know, some other things that were kind of like this, but I wanted a communicator, right? And you know, we couldn't afford a communicator back then. It wasn't even on my parents' radar to even think about it. But what my dad did, because he, you know, my dad, part of many of the other things that he did as part of the military, was an avionics engineer. And so he had this creative mind that absolutely wouldn't quit. And he never had any blueprints or drawings or anything. He would sit down in quiet contemplation and he would think about what he wanted to build. Now, some of his builds were really, really complex. He was actually one of the engineers on the Black Hawk helicopter and designed many of the tools and kits that were used to repair that back when he was in the military and the Black Hawk first came out. But that being, he would think about it and then just get up and build it. But I asked him for something like this, and so he took a tissue box. Back then, they were these little Kleenex tissue boxes that opened up like a clamshell. It was about this shape, you know, it was long and skinny. And so he opened that up, and then he took some cardboard, basically, and he drew in and colored something that would look like the inside of a communicator. And that was my first introduction to Star Trek when I was just a little boy. I was the only kid that had a communicator, and I carried that thing around with me everywhere. And hey, check this out, check this out. And you know, the rich kids, they all, you know, snickered and laughed, but you know, the kids that were in my neighborhood, they thought it was the coolest thing ever. And the same thing, I wanted like a CB, and of course you can't get a CB necessarily, so he took a piece of wood, you know, and he put a speaker grill on it, and he wired up an old mic that he had and put a couple of knobs, you know, just glued a couple knobs. Boom, I had a CB. Nobody else had a CB. I had a CB. But that's where that creative mindset came into play. But it was all about the buttons and the switches and the gizmos and gadgets. So today, again, I'm going to kind of go through starting here and working my way all the way down, but I've got a variety of different things here, and we're going to look at them a little bit more closely. Let's get started.
Second star to the right. And straight on till morning.
All right, so first is these two. The Playmates obviously has quite a lot of the things that I have collected are Playmates. I have a few other different versions, and you can tell I have taken the batteries out of these. You want to check out my take the battery out video, because if you still have the batteries in there, you want to either swap them out once a year, just like you do with your smoke detector, or you want to take them out and put them in a little box over on the side like I do, so you don't have the battery acid mess with, you know, your stuff. It totally destroys it. But these are really, really cool. This one's a little bit nicer than the other by way of how it opens up and has it separable like that. For this particular version, it's magnetic, and it has some really nice, you know, switches and buttons here on the top. But this, of course, was what you saw in the Wrath of Khan, you know, with the type of phasers that they used in the Wrath of Khan. So I have two different versions of that one. And the aforementioned, but didn't really go over it very deeply, is the remote control. Oops. Y'all know this stuff's not scripted, right? Okay, well, it's in good shape, so good to go there. So I'm gonna power this up. Powered up, not broken, thank goodness. Okay, so this is the Wand Company phaser. It's a remote control, and again, real world solutions, you know, with the Wand video that I made the other day, but this is really cool. It has on the back side here this little dial that you can dial in different sounds, and it's a very nice, it's got a good feel to it, but this is that one, and it comes in this nice little case. Now this, I didn't put this necessarily in the video for the tricorder down there, but they should have did this. They really should have. You know, it came with this. The communicator came with a nice box that it goes in, hard plastic. They should have done that, but they did not. Is what it is. Can't go back and change it. Somebody really smart will probably come up with one, but there you go. I'm going to pull this a little further forward, and we have the medical tool here. Again, also Playmates. And these, for some silly reason, were super expensive for a while, and then they came down. I don't know if it just people started selling them or something, but it's just, you know, that's the way it was. And then I have a couple of these dummy ones. This one has a little opening here. You can see that right there. And then the other one is just dummy. It's like a block of wood. Matter of fact, I think that is a block of wood that somebody carved out, and I bought it at one of those little conventions. Also have a couple of really phasers here. Nice phasers. And this one actually pulls out on the bottom like that for, you know, the batteries to go in. Kind of gives you the little, you know, dun 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 dun. Very nice here. This one also slides forward, has just a little bit. I like it when they do something more than just pew, pew, pew. You know, they're separable, or they have two pieces, or they come apart. That helps you with your cosplay. That helps you with your creativity and imagination, in my opinion. Now, this is one of the Playmates versions, a lot cheaper quality. I mean, especially in comparison to the Wand, but it is separable. It does have the little pew, pew button on the bottom, and then you can roll this up for a couple of different sounds here. This in the back doesn't work, even though it does clickety-clackety. I think this is just a power on and off, but it doesn't really do anything other than that. But this is, you know, pew, pew, pew. Again, all my batteries are out, so if you want me to do another video with the battery, just let me know and I'll show one specifically for that. Let's see, this one. This is one of those, like, reproduction ones. Let me see here. This one says, let's see, this is qmxonline.com. So this is one of the CBS sponsored ones. I picked this up from Crumb's World. I think that's Crumb's World. Yeah, Crumb's World. Just north of Orlando, Florida. Super great people up there. Massive Star Trek folks up there. But this is one of those that it's just a cool looking prop. Doesn't do anything. It doesn't roll, doesn't pew pew. There's no buttons to push. It's literally just, look, I have one. And, you know, while it's shiny and pretty, when somebody picks it up to go do something with it, it doesn't do anything. And those are the ones that, for me, you know, they're kind of boring. And then coming down here a little further, I have a few other of these. You guys, you know, all my Playmates, you know, collectors out there, you're all familiar with these. So I won't go into a lot of detail as it is to just kind of showcase the stuff that I have. I have several different types of the Dolphin phasers. I've got that version, this version here, and then the remote control. Again, I love real world combinations of Star Trek tech and something you can carry over into the real world. And this one actually works. Actually has the next generation label on the bottom of it, but this actually is still programmable. It's got the numbers here on the bottom. So if you can get a hold of one of these and you have a modern day television, this would actually work. Now, my daughter got me this one for Christmas. This one is, let's see here. It says Next Generation on it. I have to take my glasses off to be able to read it. Let's see here. This document certifies the replica phaser, digital sound effects, numbered series, Leaf Brandon, Vice President of something, something, something. So small I can't read it. But the cool thing about this one, it's got some really nice sound effects in it, but it is a laser pointer. I don't know if you can see that, like, oh, right there. Can you see that? Can you see that? There you go. When my daughter's dog comes over, goes nuts. When she hears that, she starts looking for the laser. It's the cutest thing. And it's a big dog too, so I mean, that thing will go for an hour and a half. You just sit there and do this, and she'll just keep going. Loves this thing. But this is another one of those real world scenarios to where it's not just a phaser, it's not just a tricorder, it's not just a communicator. It does something real world, like a laser. Some of the folks that I follow there on social media and on YouTube, they've actually taken some of their phasers, especially this version here, and they put a laser in it. Some of them, the really hot lasers that'll burn through paper. That is cool. Thank goodness there's smart people out there to do that kind of stuff. I mean, I can do a few things, but I can't do that. And I'm the first person to admit it. All right, let's move down a little bit. We've got the oversized. I always thought this one was hilarious because not only is it oversized for me, and I'm 54 years old, can you imagine, you know, me being 9 years old, which I didn't have one of these when I was 9 years old, but can you imagine a 9-year-old with these little bitty hands holding, you know, here I'm playing Riker and pew, pew, pew. You'd have to hold it with 2 hands, it's so big. But it's one of the versions. This one is really cool because it opens up and then it has this little, you know, cell, fuel cell, whatever. If you guys know what this is, let me know, because honestly, I've never really seen this in any of the movies or shows or whatever. It's definitely Star Trek, but I don't know really what it comes from. It might be some of the newer shows that I don't follow, but I picked this up. It's pretty nice, but it's, I really don't know anything about it. But it looks cool, don't it? Look at you. Now we come over to the communicators and a tricorder. Of course, I have 3 of the Playmates tricorders. 2 of them are here. I have a medical and the Geo one, and then I have a smaller one that Playmates put out that was only about yay big. It's down at the store right now. And then I have this little bitty, Amazon and like bookstores, but Amazon has these. Okay, now you want to go look for these because they're inexpensive and they're incredibly detailed, very detailed. They're really kind of cool. But they have this one, they have a little Enterprise, they have a phaser, they have a shuttlecraft, and they all light up. They all make sounds. They all do something, which is really, really cool. So you want to definitely check that out. But when I got them, they were only like 11 bucks. So you definitely want to check that out. But like I said, they're really, really cute. They come with a little book, you know, hence that they're sold that way. But they do come with a little bitty book that, you know, you can try to read, but it's got, you know, I guess it's not too bad. It's got pictures in it, right? It's just a cute little book. But it comes with a little phaser, it's a little watch battery operated. It's really, really cute. You want to check them out. Like I said, they're inexpensive too to add to your collection. All right, so I got that. I got this version of the Playmates. The two buttons here, this one doesn't move or anything. Then I have this littler version down here. This one, little battery, watch battery operated. Cute little thing. And then I have this one here, again from, I think this was part of the original retro series or whatever, but cute little thing. That goes in the drawer here. And it's spring loaded too, so you can pop that open. And then I have a few more of these upstairs of different versions of, and then of course I have the wand version. And like I mentioned before, there were two different versions of this one, the first one and the last, and the one they released just a few years ago. They're identical in every way except for the soundboard in them plays a little bit of different sounds. My opinion, the first edition was better. This is actually a holster that I made for my wand communicator. It works extremely well. Just basically an old school phone holster that I just heated up the sides and molded around, and it works absolutely beautifully. And of course these come with cases here. Let's move down a little bit. All right, we got this here, which I won't go into a lot of detail about. This is the wand tricorder. Detailed review on this one, just check out my channel. Beautiful little, you know, unit that they just came out with. I don't call it a full, you know, they're not an unboxing or anything, but my opinions on it, you know, good and bad about it and everything. But it's very nice, and it's in here along with the rest of my goodies. Now this one here is a Star Trek communicators that came from Crest toothpaste, believe it or not. Back when you could, you know, send in your boxes of stuff that you know, after you brush your teeth a certain amount of times, you can send in your box tops or whatever and send in your $14.95, and you got these walkie-talkies. They have little antennas that come up on them, and of course I got two of them. And these you can actually still find out there on eBay. They're, you know, fairly inexpensive. You know, probably on average about 50 bucks if you can, you know, if they're in circulation. But they're not badly priced per se. So definitely want to avail yourselves of that. So I got that. Oh, here's a couple more of the communicators here. This one has like dual speakers in the back. It's pretty loud. This one is a clock, in addition to it being a communicator. So you got your little, you know, what time is it so I can go home before before sunset. And then it has the little buttons on the front of it. And then I have one other one here, which is just like the other one, only this one, the fascia spins around, the Mourier or whatever they call it. I never can pronounce that correctly. And then these here, this is a play set. I'm trying to remember how to open it here. But this is a play set for the micro machines. So this opens up to a little transporter pad, if I remember correctly. Then I have these next generation tricorders here. And then I have a medical version, tricorder here. This one's actually really nice. I like this one a lot. And it has a little piece that you slide out here on the top. Let me get it out. There we go. And then it snaps back in. That's pretty cool. And moving down a little bit further, another one of the tricorders here. And then we have these. Actually, I have a couple of these. But this is the, little watch. Supposed to resemble what Kirk used in the motion picture, but it's 800 times the size of what it was. And this, this is kind of like, the next generation phaser over there, to where this thing's so big that, and of course I got this when I was an adult, but can you imagine something this big on a 9-year-old's wrist? It fits perfectly on mine. I can't even imagine a 9-year-old running around with one of that thing and be like, dragging you down. I have a couple of these, the Klingon knives that open up like that. And they make a little ka-ching sound when you open them up. This one actually I found with the little belt loop thingy that goes with it. And then I have another one that's just like it without the belt loop. And I have a couple of Bajoran phasers and tricorder. And then I have a couple of these. These are the Klingon pew-pews, disruptors. And then I have a really nice large version of this one as well. So that's kind of like the top shelf stuff here. Again, I want to stick with the techie side of things for this particular video, which takes us over to this right here. Hello, computer.
Computer? Ah. Hello, computer.
Yes, this is the exact model that was used in Star Trek IV, and where Scotty famously grabbed the mouse and said, "Hello, computer," and they were like, "Just use the keyboard." Keyboard, how quaint, One of my favorite scenes of the movie. Matter of fact, at the Neutral Zone during one of their costume contests one year, we went as the Madeline and the doctor, and my daughter went as one of the Plexicore workers. And we actually got an award for that, but I made her a little Plexicore thing, and she had a Plexicore apron on that I made for her, and a hat and a shirt, and I mean, we went big with it. I dressed up just like the good doctor, and I searched forever to find the jacket with the Paris pin that Madeline wore, and I found something. It wasn't the exact one, but it was really, really close. And everybody absolutely loved the outfits. But I also have, as you know, a lot of the ships. So I've got I think I have all of the Playmate ships in one version or another. Enterprise D. This is another one of those play sets. Wildly out of proportion, obviously. But it opens up, and inside is the bridge. Pretty cute. But this is those Micro Machine sets. Now let me give you guys a little extra hint here, and if you've watched my train video that I have, this would make sense. The train that the something meant, was it Bradbury? Tell me, I'll look it up later. But the train that I have upstairs that I made the mat for and the backdrops and everything for, it's super, super cool. That is an HO scale. And the characters for these Micro Machines are really, really close to an HO. I mean, only a couple millimeters difference. So I bought all the different Micro Machine sets and took out the little characters and put those as people around my train set. Pretty cool, huh? So you got literally Star Trek, The Next Generation, and the original series characters all chit-chatting and walking around and, having a good time there. Now, being this is kind of the techie side, I'm going to go through the rest of this is kind of like characters, classes, figures, cars, movies. I do have a Super 8 of the original, one of the original episodes. But I do want to take you over here. I'll do another video for the stuff that's upstairs, but in one of the other videos that I have, you could look up, but this is really important to me because I work so hard to do it. But in this wall right here, this represents all, A-L-L, all of the different versions of the first 10 movies that were ever made. And that is including the VHS, that includes the Betamax, that includes the Laserdisc, that includes CED, UMD where they were available. They didn't make them all in UMD. And the 35 millimeter preview reels of the first 10 movies all the way up. And then I have some signed autograph stuff up there from Star Trek 4 from their media kit that they had. But this is one of the things that when somebody comes in, before anything else, I tell them about this wall because I mean I've been a lot of hours researching and getting this stuff. So like I said, this video would be 3 hours long if I tried to do all the stuff that I had for Star Trek. But somebody asked, so I did it, and I would encourage you guys to like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you're here at the end of the video, hey, not everybody makes it this far, so thank you for watching it this far. But make sure you're letting other people know about RB's Toy Box. I'll keep pumping out these videos as long as you guys keep liking them. And again, show off your collection. Let people see your hard work, the stuff that's important to you. And if it's important to you, it's going to be important to me. I want to see it. I'll upload it to YouTube. Go on social media and find RB's Toy Box on Instagram and on Facebook. And share your collection. Let me see some of the cool stuff that you have. And let me enjoy it along with you. In the meantime, stay tuned. I got more stuff coming. And I'm going to be happy to make those videos for you. So until next time, hey, stay out there, stay collecting, and we'll see you soon.
Step into the magic on my fun-filled stage. RB's Toy Box is great for kids of any age. From Star Trek to 18 and retro toys too. Come join on my journey, making videos just for you.